So it happened again. So Pete Buttigieg is pretending that black people like him again. All right, this happened once before. Normally, if this happens once, it could end your career. But he keeps going. Hear it. So this has just happened. Democrat Pete Buttigieg overstated pledges of support from black leaders and public figures. This is from ABC News. This just what's the date on this? This February 18th. Polls show he faces an ongoing challenge finding support from voters of color. When Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg touted support from African-American comedian and actor Keegan-Michael Key last week, his campaign was forced just hours later to clarify that the actor had not officially endorsed the former South Bend mayor, telling reporters he only sought to encourage early voting and voter registration.
Oh, he must have just misheard the guy.
I saw.
He must have just been like, I encourage you to vote early. I encourage you to make sure you're registered. Oh, you love me. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm Pete Buttigieg.
I hear what you're saying. I think you're saying this is the most important election of our lifetimes. And we need real solutions, not just glib platitudes, right? Which is why I'm offering my solutions of compassion.
It's time for a bold moderate. I hear you.
I trust the American people to make a choice with their health care. The first indications that there was confusion about some of Buttigieg's claims of support came in October, when the campaign issued a press release in South Carolina that identified Rehoboth Baptist pastor and state representative Ivory Thigpen and Johnny Cordero, chairman of the Democratic Black Caucus. They listed them as prominent backers of Pete Buttigieg's Douglas Plan for Black America. But it turns out I never endorsed the Douglas Plan, and it's not necessarily that it was a bad plan, but people have got to understand you can't talk for black people. We're very capable of speaking for ourselves, said Cordero to ABC News, adding that he was given no explanation as to why or how the mix-up occurred. So Pete Buttigieg put out this thing. He puts the Frederick Douglass's name on it, calls it the Douglas Plan to help people of color. And then he says that all these black people endorsed it. They didn't. So that was back freaking last October. So that should have barely made a blip on the news cycle. You know, yeah, I wish he would have faked support from Assad, because they would have never stopped talking about it. But now this is a new thing he's doing. So this just happened, this new thing, and here's Ryan Grimm. He's going to tell you exactly how it happened.
It's just incredible. And there are a lot of examples that ABC has, but the most devastating are these black small business owners in South Carolina who the campaign called up and said, hey, we'd like to come by for lunch. Is that cool?
Okay.
And great.
Yeah.
We are a restaurant. We serve food. We exchange food for money.
Yeah.
We're welcome. You're welcome to do that.
To come.
And so 6, 8 people. One came and spent $90 on lunch for a group that included mostly Buttigieg staffers. And then the woman, Diane, it's Diane's Kitchen, sees in the newspaper that she's now a partner with the Buttigieg campaign.
Oh my gosh.
And so ABC News calls Diane. Diane says, I'm not a partner. So then ABC News calls the Buttigieg campaign. Buttigieg campaign starts emailing Diane and calling Diane, trying to get her to tell ABC that, oh, yeah, I absolutely am a partner. She then shares the email exchanges with ABC. They spell her name wrong. They call her Diana. And eventually they agree on a statement that says that basically that the staff ate lunch at the restaurant. But there's a bunch of examples of this.
Well, so Ryan, here's the crazy.
So that's what Buttigieg is doing now. So he's doing it again, pretending if this would, believe me, if this was the people's candidate doing this, the press would not stop. It would be out. He'd be forced out of the race. But there's going to be a debate tonight. I wonder if it will even come up. Last time, Kamala Harris didn't even go after him for this.
It's like he's getting bolder too.
Yes.
Like the next time he's just going to go up to a black person and be like, "Hey, you know, I'm running. Nice to meet you." And they'll be like, "Oh, nice to meet you too. Thank you for the endorsement. I didn't endorse you. No givesy backsies." Yeah.
Jimmy answered the door the other day. Somebody was
stumping
for Buttigieg.
I answered the door, and there's this young woman. I don't know, young. She's in her 30s, and she looked beaten down. She looks. She. This is her look on her face. Hi. I saw you have a Tulsi sign. I'm working for Pete Buttigieg,
I lost a bet, and I
it
just
looked
I gotta
like-
get through this.
and I'm like, you know what? I hope she's being paid, right? I hope she's being paid to door knock, right? Because it looked
she's
like
not.
no. No, people don't know. I mean, Bloomberg certainly would pay.
Bloomberg has 800 staffers like that.
Yeah.
And each of them get an iPhone and a new MacBook Pro.
Oh, so I want to, and I was gonna like pull out my phone and start asking her questions like, why do you like Buttigieg and what are you doing? But she just seemed, she's like, okay, like that. I just let her.
And then she left us a card of Pete smiling.
Oh, did she?
Did it have any words on it, or was it just him smiling? It was just here's an
It was
issue
like good
sheet.
things.
Platitudes!
Here's the
Exclamation
thing we're
mark.
supposed to give people. I don't know. You know, I was canvassing for Bernie over the weekend, and
I saw a picture of you on Twitter canvassing for Bernie.
Yeah, and we met in a park. Like you meet your people in a park, and they tell you what you have to do, and then you go up to doors or whatever. And I had just gotten out of my car, and I saw a bunch of signs. I figured that was the group. And I started walking towards it, and I was like, wow, it's a really small group today, and everyone looks like kind of down, like they're not excited.
Uh-oh.
I kept getting closer. Then I noticed people were giving me dirty looks, and then I noticed what was actually on their shirts, and it said Pete for America, and I was like, ooh. And then there was a much better attended
Bigger?
bigger attended people at a picnic table with a bunch of signs that said Bernie, and I was like, that's where I'm supposed to be. That's where I'm supposed to be.
So I want to get back to that in a second, but let's see what he thinks the weird thing is.
And I tweeted this. It was basically like, I think this only happened because nobody paid attention to your original story about the Douglas plan. I mean, like you said, a lot of people online cared, but on cable news, they ask a question about it at the debate, and Kamala Harris doesn't even take the opportunity.
See, he's making the same point that I just made that I ripped off from him the first time I saw it. So here's his original report. Pete Buttigieg touted 3 major supporters of his Douglas plan for Black America. They were alarmed when they saw it because they didn't endorse it. So how this guy gets away with this shit is actually easy to understand because he's the tapped candidate from the donor class. The donor class runs the media, and they run the DNC, and there you go. What else you need to know? And then they also run Facebook now, right? So they got Facebook. They got the Ministry of Truth motherfuckers over there. That guy Ryan Cooper, who was spreading lies about war at CNN International for most of his career, and now he's the Ministry of Truth guy over at Facebook, flagging anything that tells the truth about Pete Buttigieg. So that's how it happens. How does it happen? Because the donor class runs this whole goddamn country. They run the media. And how did they do that? Because Bill Clinton passed the Telecommunications Act of 1996. And what was that? That took us from 50 giant media companies down to 6. That's what that is. And now you know why we have 2 racist, fascist billionaires running for president, one in each party. Isn't that amazing? That is amazing.
You want to know what else is amazing? Can I tell you one little fact about Pete Buttigieg? Actually, his father, was a professor.
Marxist.
Marxist at Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
His father was very good friends with, Cornel West.
Oh, right.
And just so you know, Cornel says, yes, I knew Pete when he was a little kid. I know Pete. But he's not endorsing Pete.
No.
He's endorsing Bernie.
Well, not according to Pete. If you listen to him, he says Cornel West endorsed him. I don't
I forgot I knew that guy. Yeah, he endorsed me.
I just Pete Buttigieg. I've just been endorsed by the Harlem Globetrotters, the NBA. Anyway, yeah, he's having a there's this Super Tuesday is really going to be a big shakeout. So they're really pushing for Bloomberg. He's got to win a few, but
he's got a shot too. I see a lot of talking dogs in California.
So
they're everywhere.
So Ron, when you go out and you knock on doors, what are those conversations like?
Well, I mean, I've
Because
only
I don't
done
like
it
it when
once.
people knock on my door.
Yeah,
I don't
feel
want to
you,
fucking
man.
talk. I'm in the middle of doing something all the time.
You know, I gotta say, everybody was pleasant.
Really?
Everybody was. I mean, not everyone was like a total supporter. A lot were like, yeah, we're on board with Bernie. Some were like, oh, I don't know yet, but yeah, we'll take some
And
information.
then what do you tell them?
You just.
What are your big issues? Do you ask them, like, what are your big issues?
Yeah, you can. You can be like, oh, well, what are your big issues? And then the big thing that we were doing is like making sure people were registered to vote and stuff
right.
like that and what have you. So, that's the big thing. And if they're totally like, I'm not for Bernie, then you're just like, all right, have a nice day. Like, you're not supposed to like really engage in a big debate with them or whatever at
Oh,
their
you
house.
didn't tell them
But
to fuck off.
I think that's frowned upon too. I was going to ask for clarification, but... But yeah,
You go,
I had
dude,
a pleasant experience.
Dude, I see your 2006 Taurus in the driveway. I think you motherfucking want to hear about Bernie. Right? I don't know. I don't know what you would say. That's not everybody, like that would, I don't know if I would be good at that. I don't think I would be good at the knocking on the doors.
Well, did you go up to any doors that had signs in front? Like if they had a Warren sign, would you go up to that door?
I would, but I didn't see any of that. No.
So we have
Yeah, in our neighborhood.
and people still came up.
I mean, you use an app. Like, there's an app, and it tells you. So it's like a lot of these. They're people that.
Oh, you did it too, Ruby?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to be a canvasser for local campaigns.
Oh,
and
really?
Our main goal was just to get people to register to vote. A lot of them in the community, they weren't registered at all. So even just asking them to vote for someone wouldn't be relevant.
Right.
But it's just to make sure that people are aware that there are elections going on. It affects them directly. And a lot of people just don't care.
And the other thing that we were really adamant on doing too was telling people, like, we knew if they were like no party preference and stuff like that.
so you could tell?
So
Yeah,
we
we
told
did.
them about the crossover. We were like, make sure you get a crossover ballot. Make sure you request that so you can vote for president.
Oh, because otherwise they'll hand you a ballot without that on
Without
there.
the president
Right.
on it.
Right. And if you just say, apparently too, if you're just like, well, I want a Democrat ballot or something like that, they're going to say, well, we can't give that. You have to specifically say crossover to get the ballot
Really?
that you're
Okay.
allowed to vote for president. Yeah.
But, we already know that a lot of people, it's highly recommended that you use your mail-in ballots here in the state of California. And I think we
Is
have
it?
11 days, yes.
Our next live Jimmy Dore show, March 1st in Miami. Then we go to Minneapolis, Chicago, and everywhere in between. For all our tickets, for all our live shows, go to jimmydorecomedy.com. Plus, become a member. Become a premium member. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com/join. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Thanks for your support.